Well, it's been a bit of a dry week. We're just getting back into the swing of things, obviously, from Miami Valley. I did a video explaining how I thought the horses raced there. I did a video with some sales. I have not pushed the send button on that yet, but there will be some horses heading into On Gate today, and probably Preferred in the next sale also. Now, one of the more contentious issues was my dropping of the name Locatelli into the sales platform, and I still stand behind the reasoning for it, but the timing of it, I guess, before the New Holland series starts may be a bit premature. Now, let me start with why I mentioned Locatelli's name. Locatelli's a nice horse. He's a fringe player in the Open in the fall and the spring and the winter, and he'll get there. Luckily, he was going to get there the other night, fell a little bit short, but he'll likely get there. When it comes to the New Holland series, Oni Hall and the little horse that Meg Crone's horse doesn't fit that class, so it makes sense that he would be at least worth waiting to see who's in there before we get too excited. Many of the other horses I talked about will be in the sale. I think we have 5 that are going up for sale, and it makes sense to do so. When it comes to the barn, and every time I talk about sales, I have a lot of people message me and say, Anthony, this is not the stable of old. You're right, and there's merit in what you say. There is, but I'm torn in a million different directions this year, as I'm sure you figured out. And when it comes to the stable's growth, what the stable is, what the stable isn't, if we're going to procure, train down, and hopefully race top horses, we all know where that comes from. It comes from a little more expense, right? And it's hard to walk that line of what the stable represents. Yes, the stable is not the stable of 7 or 8 years ago. You guys know that. There's plenty of people watching this video that have been with us from the start and seen where we came from. And it just seems like the higher we get up the mountain, the air gets thinner up there, right? And it gets tougher from time to time to get things done and to keep things done. And moving forward. So we do the best we can, but we also have, and I want everybody to understand this, we have a large group of clients that like the direction we're going in, right? And are pulling me in that direction also, where we do have clients that like the way we are or like the way we were. So I'm left trying to traverse these 3 paths that are very strong, and I'm passionate about all 3, and I'm trying to keep all 3 in place, but to do so, I have to cater to everybody, right? And you guys know, when we go out in the track and we do well, it's because we have the right horses for the right classes. And if those horses don't fit those classes, whether it be here, the Meadows, Southern Ohio, wherever we're at, if they don't fit those classes right now, that's a problem, right? And I think that's where those paths diverge, right? They separate. You have the people that say, well, he didn't do good this week, but he might do good next week. When we all know 8-1 this week is likely 8-1 next week. And then you have to wait for the horses to drop down. And that's the least fun way to race horses, right? And this circles back to Locatelli. You get up in that Open, you're 8 or 10-1, then you have to get, beat up a few starts, and then you get to drop down. You guys know how I feel about that. And it's not like we have a better version. Well, I think Looks Like Money might be a better horse than Locatelli if he stays sound. Everybody's done a tremendous job working with this horse, rehabbing him, and he's getting ready. And I think that is part and parcel to where that original message comes from, is that we have Locatelli, who's worth a lot of money, as a fringe player. That horse could race at the Meadowlands, at Dover, in Dayton. He can race anywhere. We do have Yo Mister. We do have Looks Like Money. We do have White Tiger, and I think she's far enough away from me. White Tiger could have made that list also. But the difference between White Tiger is the 28,000 class is not filling, right? It hasn't filled for a while. So you have the 24, 28, 32, 35. 35 is a free-for-all Open. 32 is a preferred. I don't know what the 28 class is, whatever it is. That class is an optional 90,000 claimer, and that's probably where White Tiger could do full-time. And we could price him for 90. He's a 7-year-old trotter who's made us a lot of money and been a good horse for us. But pricing him and keeping him in with competition is important. I think 70 might be a little low. Now, you know what I'm talking about. If I say that Locatelli is a much more workable prospect. And I guess workable is not the best way to put it. Enticing prospect. And I think White Tiger is light at 70 Canadian. You can only imagine what I think Locatelli is probably worth to a lot of people out there. I've had 5 people message me that watch these videos that are not stable clients, that are talking to me saying, hey, who are you putting up for sale? Because they saw me say it the other day. And I do appreciate the feedback. Most of the time when I make you a video like that, I'm looking for feedback, and I got lots of it. Some of it I was able to mitigate and explain my position, but ultimately the timing of the sale might be just a couple of weeks premature. I had one person, Gino, said, Anthony, I've been waiting my whole life to buy into a horse like this. I get into him, and I just don't see the logic behind selling him. Well, this video is as much for Gino as everybody else. We will have more Locatellis. If we continue to move in this direction, we will have more Locatellis. We will have more White Tigers and Yo Misters. But if we continue to stand still, then that path going in that direction is going to dry up. It's going to become unlit and unpaved, and we're going to move back to where we were before. And there's some people that are probably happy to hear that. But I am doing my best to accommodate everybody and do everything I can for everybody else. And it is taxing and daunting sometimes. And I've told everybody this is the toughest time of year, and this year in particular. But I'm always trying to move us in the right direction. So when it comes to the horses that are being up, probably when this video is done, I'm going to hit the send button. And Locatelli probably won't be on that list, but don't be surprised if you don't see him in the near future end up on it. And it's not for any other reason than it makes sense. And for the people out there who are quietly saying you can't replace him, you're 100% right. We were lucky to get Texong Soprano. We were lucky to get Yo Mister. Those horses, they did jump up. They were Locatellis, right? But no, you can't replace a horse like him. So I made reference to ball teams and hockey teams and football teams having to trade players away to secure their future, and that's no different than what we have to do sometimes. And if that moves us away from the path that everybody's used to, I get it. I understand it. I read your emails. I understand them very much. But I'm left doing the best I can for everyone. So with that said, what do we have going on today? We have a couple of horses, 3 horses qualifying this afternoon. We have 2 of them get in together, which I wasn't super pleased with. No Chance in Hill and Oh Snap You are going to be in together. Earlier qualifier, I'm going to try and get another qualifier into my father's horse. All these horses are short. Haven't even been able to train them. But we should be able to get a mile and 2-4 into them or whatnot today and get them going. Later on tonight, we have What a Mission and Walter's Keepsake also are going today. We have a number of horses tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. But I did want to take a minute to talk about what took place yesterday, and that was the babies and how they trained. I didn't know how they come back. I guess inside I did, but I was curious. And they all bounced back like they'd never missed a day. They look very, very good. We will try and get some videos for you this week. I know in Ontario also, I had a long conversation with Danny yesterday. He was very, very pleased with the way the horses are going right now. Some colt stuff going on. That always happens around this time of year, February into March. We just want to stay ahead of. But everybody training well. He was pleased with Century Legion. Gaslight Hall, they said, trained very good. Now Chicago just won a slow mile. He was just freshly castrated last week. Or 10 days ago, so just a slow mile with him to get him going. But everybody else went well, and Danny was happy with them. And if you didn't hear your horse's name a minute ago, that is a wide umbrella. He was not displeased or unhappy with any of the 10 horses that we have training in Ontario, and hopefully we can get a video out to you. I know all the time I get people asking when are the videos, and I appreciate the patience with what you know had gone on the last 10 days here at Northfield Park. And as it comes to how we're going to move forward. So yesterday here, just a couple of highlights, maybe some changes that ended up with horses training well, or some horses that bounced back, or some horses that just looked very good. Again, we stayed around 245, 250, somewhere around there with all the horses for the most part, and they looked exceptionally good. And again, if you don't hear your horse, I will tell you, if I was unhappy with the way a horse trained yesterday. If I come across a horse, I will tell you the horse made a break and why the horse made a break, or why the horse didn't look as good as we hoped. But for the most part, I was thoroughly pleased also. I think the horses that looked the best to me yesterday in the first set were horses that caught my eye. I went with High Hopes. Put the hobbles on her for the first time. First time the loops ever touched her legs, or right before she went on the track, and she was awesome. 2:44, I think they went. She finished up very strong. I didn't get to the leader. Who was the leader? Maybe it was Foxy Seaside? I'm not sure. LT Troubadour finished up really well, and Melisandre was great also in that set. Everybody did their work pretty well. I was happy with them. Speed of Sound made a break coming out of the last turn, but she's got these two big splints that are pretty well ready to be cryoed. Just not quite there yet. I said to Lauren again, we'll blister those splints and put her on Baycocks again. But she was good yesterday. I was happy with some of the improvements, but again, a little disappointed with the break, but that won't not bothering me at all. Everybody else in that set went really, really well. I was happy with the whole group. Set number 3, Blue Ventura broke a hobble. He did. My God, he's getting big. He broke a hobble, but looked okay right up until that point. The horse that really caught my eye in there was at Atrante. I give up. Atrante. She was very strong. Dr. Rucker's horse. Trained awesome. I was on the front with Grand Slam Dio and really just let Atrante up into my bridle in the last turn, thinking we would finish together, and Amy was just sitting on her and tried to pass me by a head going under the wire. But I was extremely happy with Grand Slam Dio. Felt more comfortable and trotted very good. So there's a horse that short break really, really helped. Westland Warrior did not go in that set. He had a little bit of a temperature the day before, so we just backed off with him for a couple of weeks. He'll be fine. Wander Hill really caught my eye. There's a horse that made breaks over his last number of training sessions and didn't make any today and looked very, very good. So I was really happy with him. Set number 4, Aunt Lily looked good. Gymboree looked good. Everybody in there looked good. She sits at the bar, a double for Amy. She looked very good going under the wire too. Everybody in there did their work very, very well. Set number 5 again. I believe Country Dancing and Rosa and AJ are right there at the wire together, a little bit ahead of us. I made a break with Oh Hill No. She's another one of those horses that a little bit of colt stuff. Well, she's a filly, but you know what I mean. Cold stuff, knees bothering her a little bit. One stifle seems a little bit weak from work. And again, she's no chance in Hill's sister, so I want to keep a very close eye on those hind legs. But she looks good. She just feels like she's loading weight in different places. This is a very big filly also. So we'll just keep her around 245, 250. And there's a couple of horses in the same boat until we get them comfortable and moving forward. Set number 6, everybody very impressed. Green Glitter was great. Memento Mori took the hobbles off him, opened him up. He was awesome yesterday also. And Rose Run Alexander was good. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill was awesome also. The whole group was very good in there. And then the last set went on the track. The horse that maybe caught my eye the most over the last 3 weeks and looked extremely impressive was Dancing by Myself. The horse just looked awesome. Went out, did his work well, finished up well. Just an easy mile for him. I Don't Play Nice was awesome also. And Fire and Shine looked way, way better. Southwind Idex and Never Lose Felix was just behind us. So as I said, that little short time off might have been a little bittersweet. Bitter because we couldn't watch the horses. It was frustrating. Sweet in the sense that it might have helped out some of these horses. I definitely saw an improvement comfort level wise with a few of them. So whether it was the weather, the track, or the short break, they certainly looked much better. So very happy with what I saw there, and happy with what I see heading into the latter part of the week and the weekend here in Ohio. Another busy one. We got a bunch of the 3-year-olds. First training trips back for Memory and Imagination and Pickpocket. And all those horses are going to be training today. Just slow miles, which they're all going to be good. But I want to get in and get going with them also. So I hope you guys had a wonderful start to your week. Obviously a little weird, a little odd. I was a little under the weather all weekend, but much better now, and looking to get things moving the rest of the week. So with that, I'll let you go. I hope you guys had a wonderful start to your week, as I said, and I will talk to you all very soon. Take care.